Hello and welcome. I am No Coffee, No Life, and today we're going to be building on this trailer that you see right behind me. We're going to patch it up, put an extension on it, put some decking in the back, and decorate it. Just to let you know, this is a very mob-heavy area of the map, so while you're building here, you're going to see a lot of mobs spawning in the trailer, spawning behind the trailer, spawning down the hill. Be prepared. Let's get started. First, we're going to get turrets up so that we're at least somewhat protected while we're building this. Not for things like the Scorched Officer that you can see in the background, but for things like mobs that will spawn while you're building inside the trailer or at the boathouse that's behind this area. Or in front of this area for that matter. There was actually a Flatwoods monster that spawned while I was building. 4 foundations fit in this back area behind the trailer. And for this first piece, you can put a half wall and a top arch wall. The reason you can't put a full or 2 half walls, however you'd want to do it, is because there's a pipe sticking out from the back of the trailer that won't let you place a full wall here. So the only thing that fits up there is the top arch wall. I put foundations underneath the entirety of this trailer because if you don't, things will either sink to the ground underneath the trailer or they won't place in the trailer. So keep that in mind when you're building. On this foundation piece, this is the only foundation back here that will be able to place a full wall up against the trailer. The others can't because the trailer or junk in the back conflicts. Once you put down this one full wall, you'll be able to put the roof on. You may have to move around a bit because it's a little finicky back here, but eventually it'll snap into place and you'll be able to put 3 flat roofs back here. Not in that area, obviously, because of the pipe. But the other ones you'll be able to snap and have no issues whatsoever. I've put a guard post back here because it blends in. It looks about as run down as the rest of the trailer and the backyard. And it fits the spot a lot better than other things that you could put back here. It certainly fits better than the concrete wall, which is what I was initially going to put in. 2 foundations fit here on the side. It's enough of a space to put your fusion generator, and it's just enough space to get one wall on the side. The other will have to, if you want to put a wall there, it'll have to be a junk wall or something else. More flat roofs. You can't place a wall back here because that wall that's part of the actual location is jutting out. But it's enough of a space. I'm going to put a junk wall in the very back to close it off from mobs. So it's an enclosed space. You can put, whatever you want in there. I'm going to combine my scrap box and my stash box. If you've never seen this or never done it, you take a stash box and you put a scrap box on it. You go to some ground that's relatively soft and you keep picking up and dropping the stash box. And eventually the scrap box will sink right into it and it won't look so obvious. It'll be 2 things that you can access in the same space with no real issues, and it blends in far better than a plain scrap box. On to patching the walls. The more clutter you make on the walls, the better it'll look, especially in a location like this. If you don't put enough junk on the wall, it's gonna look weird and odd and just not right. The walls are very helpful in making these posters, especially some of the posters that are brighter than others, look a little more weathered. That's a good word, weathered. Because parts of the wall will come through or clip through or block the image further than it already is. Eventually, it'll look pretty worn and cluttered and perfect for this spot. I actually built this trailer over Memorial Day weekend, and I didn't expect that Bethesda would put out a trailer for sale right after Memorial Day in the Atom shop. That was a shocker, but hey, it happened, and hopefully this video helps those of you who don't have the atoms to buy the trailer. And it's company stuff. I can't help you with the hot tub, but this certainly can be yours on a server somewhere. If you find this trailer and decide to build on it, you can have your own trailer without having to shell out atoms. I wish that Bethesda would actually take these assets and break them into individual components, like that Mega Mansion. I wish they had given us the parts so we could put it together the way we want. I get why they didn't. Probably it was easier this way, but all those individual components are pretty cool, and I think if you've played this game long enough, you've noticed them, and you've probably liked them and wanted them in your camp, and they haven't been available up until now, and now they're in a cluster of things made into a makeshift Mega Mansion, and now a, trailer on concrete blocks. That's me. That's my opinion. I think that they should break it up, but you might think differently. I will probably end up purchasing the trailer. I already have the Mega Mansion, but I wish some of these things too would not be in the Atom shop. I know that's not going to happen, but I still wish that they weren't all in the Atom shop. I wish you would get them as quest rewards or scoreboard, at the least. Here we're going to patch this area, not completely because this is the opening to get into the backyard and onto this deck. I'm just gonna put these responder signs first so that I can layer other stuff on top of them, just like I did with the other wall. And here's the finished product. I'm gonna put down crafting stations, patch some other areas of the interior really quick so that they're repaired, restored, as the case may be. Eventually be able to snap things in. This will snap. I'm doing the same thing here that I did with the scrap and the stash box. I'm sinking that sink into the desk so that it's a work area for the kitchen. I'm putting on the deck in the back. You can do it with any sink and desk or table combo. It's just a matter of personal choice, and I'm putting this stove here, but it's going to be replaced with the Cook Ally. I'm just putting it here as a placeholder so that the space is set for the switch once I finish building everything, because I don't want to hear the entire time I'm building on top of everything else that's going on. Because she's not as obnoxious as our astronaut, but she does still talk. closing up the hole here, making it a little cluttered on the wall. Busy as every other wall in this place. Not that that's really difficult. Really, these little signs, all the signs that you can pick up and learn as plans are great. Always consider them when you're building because they really help clutter up areas and make it look like the place is lived in and actually part of the world, not a build that somebody built. It's the wasteland. It should look like it's run down and lived in and worn out. On to running power through this place. I've put the fusion generator down. Advanced power connectors don't like this trailer. You might be able to get them in, I wasn't able to. I used the standard power connectors. I ran it through this side, the side obviously with the fusion generator, after I placed one of the light up signs with the actual connector at the top. You can probably go with the same points that I used to run your power through. You might find different areas on this roof that work a lot better for you. It's basically guesswork, trying to get it all to connect and work and want to place and want to connect wires. You're going to spend a lot of time at this point connecting wires and trying to figure out how to run the power. It will eat up time. It is worth it in the end though, because this is actually a really nice area to build, this structure, this space. I tried to keep it as close to the roof as I could so that my wires wouldn't necessarily be immediately visible. I've seen people put power connectors on running on the ground. I don't particularly care for that, but it's all a matter, again, of personal preference. You might like it, you might think that that's the best way to run power through here. And, you know, it's your build. If you choose to do that, you are welcome to it. I'm just showing you where I'm putting them, which is right close to the roof. In these door jams so that I can feed the power through. You can put power connectors on these beams up here. They will snap, at least near the front of the trailer. This is the final power connector I put in here. It feeds the power. When you get to that point, it'll feed the power throughout the entire trailer. It'll all be covered and you won't have to worry about lighting issues. I had to re-snap these cage light bulbs because they weren't initially working even though they had power, just because it's a little glitchy. And they work. And here it is, all decorated. Looks great. All cluttered up, busy, blends in though, looks like it belongs. I've got the vendor station over here. It's 2 cash registers with a bunch of junk around it. Banjos, chickens, some more junk, and my little garden with scarecrow, fusion generator, a little restroom area with trash, and a visitor. This toilet ever better than the clean toilet we received from the scoreboard. I've got a bunch of stuff stacked up in front of the trailer that actually has the texture from the outside of the trailer bleeding onto it, which is great. Those Thanksgiving display cases really clutter up the interior of that living room. And here's the bedroom. I mean, I didn't put much in here. There was already stuff in, so I just decorated it a little, and it looks great. The living room looks pretty nice. It had stuff in it already. I just added additional little decorations. The bathroom, I put lighting in, and I did finish fixing the wall, but there's not a lot of space there to do things. I mean, you might be able to figure something out, but I didn't. Here's the kitchen area with our traveling chef. Crafting stations. I've got the Tinker's workbench, the armor station, and the weapons workbench. A beehive, and a lovely view of Mount Blair and the ash heap, which doesn't get enough love. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. If you've got questions about the build, leave them in the comments. Until next time, have a wonderful time building in the wasteland.